were successful in containing outbreaks in the past.
Currently, 6 states are monitoring people who had recently traveled on the ship. The passengers who disembarked yesterday in the Spanish Canary Islands were sprayed with a disinfectant. They were met with personnel in protective gear.
Other passengers being flown to other countries, and one from France has symptoms that are worsening. Fox's Alex Hogan also reports
These symptoms could present as fever, muscle aches, headaches, and fatigue, although it can become deadly within about a week with a 35 to 40% mortality rate. 3 people have died since the outbreak began.
There's still no deal to end the Iran conflict. President Trump rejected a counter-proposal.
Iran's state broadcaster posting details of its response, which President Trump called unacceptable. Quote, the necessity for the U.S. to pay war damages to Iran, recognition of Iran's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, end of U.S. sanctions.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson is in Dubai the day after another ship was attacked as the U.S. keeps a blockade around Iran's ports.
In addition to that cargo ship being attacked yesterday here in the Emirates, the UAE was attacked for the 4th time in the past week after Iran launched a pair of drones here. The defense ministry says both were shot down.
The price of oil is up more than 2%. At the gas pump, no change today. AAA's national average for regular still $4.52 per gallon. It has spiked up in the conflict. Analyst Tribble Lundberg says prices could rise more with more demand.
It won't be as robust as usual because people can't buy as much because of the high prices. But it will rise. It always rises in spring and summer.
America's listening to Fox News.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I'll put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
In rejecting Iran's counter-proposal to the U.S. offer, President Trump also wrote on Truth Social, for years, the Iranians have laughed at our now great again country. They will be laughing no longer. And that conflict hangs over the president's big trip to China.
This week's trip to China will be the first by an American president since President Trump traveled to Beijing back in 2017. It comes amid trade tensions and the ongoing war in Iran. President Trump has met several times with China's President Xi Jinping, and both leaders have expressed a commitment to fostering a strong bilateral relationship. That relationship has been strained at times with tit-for-tat tariffs amid negotiations over a long-term trade deal. President Trump is also expected to raise concerns about China's purchase of Iranian oil. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed before this week's trading, down for the Dow, up for the NASDAQ, which closed last week at a record high. In the NBA playoffs, a blowout to complete a sweep. The New York Knicks beat the Philadelphia 76ers by 30 points to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks' 7th straight postseason win. Out west, a dramatic loss for the Spurs. First, their star player, and then Game 4.
Wembanyama is out of this game. First time he's been ejected from a game in his career.
An elbow to the neck of Minnesota's Naz Reid, ever costly to Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, who lost Game 4 of their Western Conference semifinal series to the Timberwolves last night on NBC. 114-109. Wembanyama ejected early second quarter. It's possible he could face further discipline from the NBA.
That's Fox's Jared Max. Minnesota ties that series 2-2. The Washington Wizards won the NBA draft lottery, getting the number 1 pick. Utah gets second, then Memphis, then Chicago. Indiana's 5th, but the LA Clippers own rights to that pick. In the NHL playoffs, the Ducks got even. Anaheim edged Vegas 4-3 in Game 4. Montreal beat Buffalo 6-2 to take a 2-1 series lead. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Monday. It is May 11th, 2026, and you're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. It's News Radio for South Texas. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Frank Cruz. Jason Caterina going to be popular with the weather nerds. Going to give us an update on those rain totals from the weekend and Yeah, what the Weather Service had to say about that microburst. Yeah, that's coming up in about 3 minutes, so join us for that conversation. Yeah, the National Weather Service saying that severe thunderstorm on Saturday caused a microburst that damaged power poles and properties in the north central portion of Cameron County. Microburst traveled about 13 miles, was 1 mile fat, and traveled for about 30 minutes. Peak winds estimated to be between 65 and 80 miles per hour. Cameron County authorities saying that 3 people were hurt by the storm, and anyone who suffered damage is urged to go to the Texas Division of Emergency Management website and fill out a report. That will be essential so that local folks can file for some assistance in the event that the dollar threshold of damage crosses a certain mark. The Food Bank of the Valley is asking for help after Saturday's severe storms. The Food Bank is trying to assist local communities affected by the storm, asking for donations of money and some non-perishable items, some food items. At 7:07 on the Valley's Morning News. Just west of us, authorities in Laredo investigating after 6 people were found dead inside a railroad boxcar on Sunday afternoon. The bodies were discovered during an inspection at the rail yard in Laredo. Back to South Texas, the South Texas School District has a new superintendent. Trustees voted to hire Sandra Garza Ochoa as superintendent, as she will be on the job starting June 1st. Other education news, the STAR test, the standardized test for Texas, is over. But for some kids, the stress is still there. They got end-of-year exams.
As long as there's been testing, there are some students who get stressed out about it. Andrea Hutlock with the Association of Texas Professional Educators says it has gotten worse because many times teachers are stressed.
Teachers' pay is going to be directly tied to these assessments.
She says there needs to be a change in Texas to a more healthy approach to education that prioritizes student improvement over the results of one test.
This interesting education note from Central Texas up in San Antonio. The San Antonio ISD saying that they will not place Teach for America members, Teach for America teachers at their campuses for the next school year. They will be available for this summer, but next school year, no Teach for America teachers at San Antonio ISD. It's 7:08. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Time to go to AccuWeather because we got plenty to talk about right now. I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch for providing a 7 o'clock AccuWeather. You never know what you'll find at Martin Farm and Ranch Supply. Hay and feed, rabbits and chicks. Oh, little baby chicks. Say hi to Dougie if you stop by. Rain totals, amigo. AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina join us. Rain totals. You see anything interesting? Off the charts, crazy. What
McAllen got 1.25 inches over the weekend. Harlingen got almost 3/4 inch. Just south of Harlingen, there's 6/10. So some pretty sizable totals in spots. Brownville reporting only 2/10.
Yeah, I had some friends in Brownsville complaining, we didn't get anything down here. Well, just be glad you didn't get the 60, 80 mile per hour winds. We had a microburst.
Yeah, it's downburst, man. Those things are intense and scary. They can do some real damage. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you see the video I sent you? Or a picture I sent you. There was somebody post. I guess that was the microburst. What a microburst is? What, just before a tornado, or what would you call that?
A microburst is like, basically, it's like everything gets completely. Basically, there's like a whole big area that's completely saturated, and there's a huge push of air straight down, and it just slams straight down into the ground like a fist.
Might it look like a tornado?
Like a superhero, you know what I mean? Like that superhero pose where they hit the ground and everything just kind of blows out around them. Well, that's basically what it does. There's like a huge downburst of rain and cold air, and it hits the ground really hard, and it just spreads out and creates those really high winds and everything. So
I know
it could spawn a tornado, I suppose, but it's not necessarily the precursor to a tornado.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about, because when my hero producer Freddie shows up, he shows up like that, one knee to the ground with his fist to the ground. Yeah. So that microburst might look like a tornado from a distance, right? Because it's like
it'll be kind of shaped like like that, because there'll be like a single area where it's like, but you'll have to catch it right when it happens. Otherwise, like, you won't really see it, because it'll just be like a straight down shot of like heavy rain and wind that just hits the ground and then spreads out, like I said.
All right. Are we
They're
done?
pretty rare. You don't get those very often. A lot of times they cause big trouble around airports.
Got a handful of folks that had their homes, mobile homes, and other properties damaged this weekend as a result of the very strong winds. It was impressive. It kind of scared.
No, those straight line winds, 60, 80 mile an hour straight line winds, they'll do damage like a tornado will. It's just it'll all be in one direction versus a tornadic track where you'll see, stuff blown down at one direction on one side and the opposite direction on the other from the circulating winds. So.
Well, yesterday or overnight, we got the cool front that finally crossed and brought some interesting weather north of us. So right now, temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s. Nice. That's the coolest, right? And I know I got a few seconds with you. You're going to keep temperatures in the upper 80s, low 90s for the week?
Yeah, mid upper 80s today, near 90, and then much of the week we should be in upper 80s, low to mid 90s. So it's not looking like a super hot week.
Excellent. All right, pal. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on 710 KURV. And as far as what's on the menu for today, eat whatever you want. Like literally, it's a national eat whatever you want day. And Freddie said he wanted some oatmeal earlier this morning, which I agree. Just to put some extra butter. You ever try cheese, Freddie? Put some cheese on it? No? Extra milk, butter, and then like Ovaltine on it.
I can understand adding some flavor, like some chocolate or something.
Yeah. Try it with
berries
Ovaltine.
Or something, but
Yeah.
you're adding
And
butter,
butter.
you're
Yeah.
adding, it kind of defeats the purpose of what oatmeal is supposed to be, no?
Well, at least it's not like a plate full of bacon, right?
Yeah, but
Right.
might as well be.
All right. We'll speak with AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina next hour. Coming up at about 16 minutes after, about 3 minutes or so, we have Pete Sepulveda. He's the director of the Regional Mobility Authority, Cameron County. And he has a lot of bridge news. We got 2 presidential permits, maybe a third on the way. Like, we're the only area in the nation that's doing this. Why? Because, the economy is growing so fast. They're trying to stay a step ahead or two of all the bridge demands, trade demands, the workforce demands, back and forth on Rioplex. Yeah, people living over here, working over there. Yeah, that's coming up at about 16 minutes after the hour. So join us with that conversation. Ozempic and Wegovy pills are now available for same-day delivery on Amazon. The Ozempic pill launched last week after the January launch of the Wegovy pill. Sky-high gas prices are hitting some folks harder than others, depending on what you do for a living.
The $4 price at the gas pump is a killer for those who make their living on the road. That includes rideshare drivers here in Texas.
The fares are not increasing. They can't increase the fares because they don't control them. And so they're basically eating the cost.
Autumn Weintraub, who heads the App Drivers Union, says that other delivery services have started to add a gas surcharge, but that's not allowed with the big rideshare apps.
Beets are the new it food for some folks who are health-conscious consumers. Well, they're barely discovering this. Hey, Dana Lash has been selling beets for the longest time, like in chewable form, though, right? In drinkable form. So some studies suggest that beets might help with low blood pressure, increase blood flow, and protect the arteries. There was a report from Penn State came out that beet acreage has more than doubled over the past 20 years, almost 20 years, at 7:14 on the Valley's Morning News. Join us online at Radio Para Mi, the free app, and listen on your smartphone. Up next on 710 KURV, Pete Sepulveda, the Regional Mobility Authority for Cameron County. He's also the Cameron County Administrator, and fascinating news on bridges, bridge activity, bridge expansion. There's 3 projects, Brownsville, and there's, of course, one on South Padre, the second causeway. That information next on 710 KURV.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new energy refreshers, Strawberry Yakai, Mango Dragon Fruit, or the all-new Mango Strawberry. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it soon. ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Your winning partner is News Talk 710 KURV. We deliver real results with a powerful mix of radio, social media, promotions, and live endorsements from the Rio Grande Valley's most trusted influencers and on-air personalities. Your brand will be heard, seen, and connected everywhere. Our expert multimedia marketing team will build a strategy to make this your best summer yet. Call 956-992-8895 or visit radiounited.com and team up with News Talk 710 KURV for winning results this summer.
Brian Kilmeade here, inviting you to tune in weekday mornings starting at 9 for The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez on News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
Thank you for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV. This is your station for Astros baseball. They're hosting the Mariners. 640 broadcast today on 710 KURV. In fact, today, Tuesday and Wednesday, 640 broadcast. Made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. Cameron County, and man, we got a lot of bridge news to review. Our friend Pete Sepulveda is our Cameron County Administrator. Pete, welcome back. You were telling me off air that we have 2 presidential permits and likely a third one in line. We're probably like the only place in the country that has like 2-3 presidential permits that are in the tube right now. So tell me about that.
Good morning. Yes. So currently we've got 2 presidential permits. One that was received on May of 2024 for the Flor de Mayo Bridge. This is a future bridge that we are developing in the western part of Brownsville. This will connect to a road by the name of Altenglor or FM 3248. And this is in a highly residential area of Brownsville. But on the Mexican side of Matamoros, it connects to several of the industrial park in Matamoros. And if for anybody that's familiar with the twin plant concept, where you have maquiladoras on the Mexican side, a lot of those plant managers and supervisors live on the United States, but they work on the Mexican side. And so Flor de Mayo will be ideal for those employees because if they live on the Brownsville side and they have to drive to Matamoros every day to go to work, the Flor de Mayo Bridge will be a direct access to those industrial parks. So we're currently going through the environmental process, through the NEPA process, working on getting the environmental document completed. We completed a feasibility study on the Mexican side, and we're proceeding to getting approval from the Mexican government to proceed with that project in Mexico. So there's quite a bit of activity going on. We still have a little bit over 3 years left in the presidential permit before we can start construction. We're working on the funding aspect as well. Any environmental document requires a financial plan, so we're putting that together. We're working here locally with the county, the RMA, and then we're working with the RGV MPO to see if there's any federal funds available that we can apply to the project. And so we've done this type of projects before. We just finished completing construction on a $20 million project at the Veterans Bridge where we use federal funding. So very similar concept that we're going to utilize for the Flor de Mayo Bridge. The second presidential permit application that the county has, we received it in August of 25, about 9 months ago. It's for a pedestrian bridge at the Gateway Bridge. So the last week or so, actually it was last Wednesday, when the General Services Administration held a groundbreaking ceremony for the huge $265 million modernization project at the Gateway Bridge, where all the federal facilities are going to be modernized, including doubling of entrance lane, new admin facilities. And so this pedestrian bridge goes hand in hand with all those improvements, even though the pedestrian bridge is strictly a county bridge. But we are going to make the crossing a lot safer for pedestrians. As you all might be aware, on a daily basis, we get an influx of students that live in Matamoros, but they come to school in Brownsville. whether that be elementary, junior high, or high school, or even we have students that come to TSC, Texas Southmost College, and UTRGV. So today there exists a major conflict between passenger vehicles and pedestrians. So this new pedestrian bridge will make it safer for all our pedestrians, and then it will give CBP, Customs and Border Protection, the ability to have dedicated pedestrian bridges. For example, the existing pedestrian bridge can be utilized for asylum seekers or any individuals that might need to get permits from CBP. And then the new pedestrian bridge, the future pedestrian bridge, can be utilized for tourists, students, other individuals that don't require assistance permits from CBP. So this Gateway Pedestrian Bridge, we're looking at about a $15 million project. And right now we're looking at the county and the RMA to fund that project. That $15 million includes the cost on the Mexican side as well. We just completed the feasibility study on the Mexican side, and we're going to work with the Mexican government to get it an approval process.
Let me reset. I told you we had a lot of bridge news. Pete had a lot of bridge news for us. Pete Sepulveda, our Cameron County, he's our Cameron County administrator. He is the executive director for the area RMA, Regional Mobility Authority, as well. Is that it for the pedestrian bridge, or did you need to mention a bit more before we go to bridge number 3, which would be the B&M upgrade?
That's good with the pedestrian bridge. As far as the B&M bridge, so the county has negotiated a stock purchase agreement with Union Pacific Railroad. Union Pacific Railroad owns the stock for the 50% of the stock, which is the ownership on the U.S. side of the B&M bridge. So we are negotiating that with Union Pacific. We're working with Mexico right now on a temporary operating agreement. As many of you all know, the B&M bridge, to my knowledge, today it's the only bridge between Brownsville and San Diego. Although right now there is a bridge project in San Diego where they would take the same concept. So at the B&M bridge, on the U.S. side, you pay your toll to go southbound into Matamoros. But then on the way back, on the U.S. side, you pay your toll to come back into the U.S. So the B&M Bridge Company collects both southbound toll and the northbound toll. And then they deduct the expenses, and then the net proceeds are divided between the U.S. and the Mexican government. And so, as I mentioned, we're negotiating an agreement with Mexico where the county can continue and assume the role of the B&M Bridge Company, where the county would collect both southbound and northbound. Once we have that temporary agreement, we can take ownership of the bridge. The transaction with Union Pacific will be completed, and then we can negotiate a long-term operating agreement with Mexico. Today, that is the only bridge, again, that I'm aware of where you collect both south and northbound. There is a project in San Diego that will utilize a similar concept, but it's not operational at this point.
So it's just moving around the business arrangement. Is there a potential where maybe, I don't know, because it stays rail. I mean, can you get more rail out of it? Like put
so the rail bridge exists, but it's not operational. If y'all remember, in August of 2015, we opened the West Rail Bridge, where we relocated the International Rail Bridge to the west, away from residential areas in a more rural area. So while the rail bridge exists today, it is not used for rail. Once the county assumes operation, our plan is to utilize the rail bridge for passenger vehicles or any type of vehicles, but no rail on the B&M bridge.
Excellent. And that's a project that's still likely much further out than the other.
We anticipate being able to close the transaction with Union Pacific August of this year. And so that'll give us control of all the international bridges in Cameron County, except for the rail bridge that is owned by Union Pacific. And so people might ask, why do you need so many international bridges? If you're up to speed on what's transpiring in Brownsville, Cameron County, there's a lot of growth, a lot of industry that is looking at Brownsville, Cameron County. We have the energy sector, the space sector, the national security sector. We're talking about industry that one company alone perhaps can bring up to 10,000 jobs over the course of the next 5-10 years. So our goal is to get prepared so that when that growth occurs, we have all the proper infrastructure in place so that we can maximize the benefit out of the industry coming into Cameron County area.
Pete Sepulveda, our Cameron County Administrator, Executive Director for the Regional Mobility Authority. Lots of bridge information. We'll talk about the Second Causeway in just a second. Flor de Mayo, back to Brownsville. How fat might that be? 4 lanes, 6 lanes, or what?
We're talking about a 4-lane bridge.
4-lane bridge on that one. If going
and
over
again, the Flor de Mayo is strictly for passenger vehicles and pedestrians. No commercial traffic on Flor de Mayo, because on the U.S. side, it's in a highly residential area.
Yes, sir.
So the commercial vehicles will remain at the Veterans Bridge in Brownsville.
Has anybody run the numbers on how many potential managers and workers for Maquila's are in that part of town that would benefit and just take that new bridge, go to work, and come on back?
I would probably venture to say that probably 75-80% of the industrial activity in Matamoros is on the west side. So it'll serve about 3/4 of the plants in Matamoros.
Okay, we'll have to run the numbers on how many folks work over there. That I'm sure there's hundreds of people that would benefit from that bridge. To the Gateway pedestrian, you mentioned the yes, which is obvious. We know around here when school is back in session, because it's a 2-3 hour wait time in some of these international bridges, people bringing over and dropping off their kids at some of the schools. So if you see the Gateway pedestrian bridge as a potential bridge for the Huercos, for them to cross over, that would be a whole new system where school districts would, I don't know, send buses to pick up the Huerquillos?
Yes.
Right.
So today we do have school buses, and that is part of the conflict that we have with passenger vehicles. And some of the school buses wait for the school children across the bridge. So those kids have to cross 1 or 2 major streets in Brownsville to get to the school buses. So by relocating or by adding the new pedestrian bridge, we'll have an area for school buses and any other traffic that will drop off or pick up people that will utilize the new pedestrian bridge. So that is the main goal of that project, is make it a lot safer for all the bridge pedestrian users.
Status report, Second Causeway for South Padre. What can you tell us?
So we continue to work with the Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, and their consultants to complete the environmental phase. We've done a lot of legwork from the last last year and a half. Right now, we're anticipating getting environmental clearance in mid-2027, which is about a year from now. And once we get that environmental clearance, then we can proceed to a final design of the project. So we're working with TxDOT right now on how the project will be funded. And, in the next couple of months, where TxDOT works on their 10-year program, the 2027 UTP, we anticipate getting some type of funding in there so that we can continue with the design of the project. But the environmental document right now is looking very well. We're looking at completing that and then starting the public hearing process, hopefully here in the next couple of months.
I'm going to ask you for the final minute and change. I-69, the connectivity. What needs to happen for us to finally squeeze the full benefit of that connection to the Valley, Brownsville, McAllen, the Valley, and I-69? What needs to happen to finally get a smooth connection all the way down to us?
So here in Cameron County and US 77, there's 3 segments to the King Ranch that are pending. All 3 segments have statewide development authority, which means that once they're designed, the right-of-way is in place, the environmental document is cleared. We would just need to get TxDOT to line them up for construction. And once that happens, then we will have a seamless interstate corridor between Brownsville and Corpus. If you all drive US 77 north, you can see that in Rivera. They're starting the bypass around Rivera. They're completing all the overpasses, grade separations through Ricardo. And then in Driscoll, the bypass is already operational. On 281, I believe it's something very similar, 3 or 4 segments that are pending. So both 77 and 281, I can foresee that in the next 36 months, we could potentially have a seamless interstate corridor in and out of the Rio Grande Valley. Excellent. Which to this date, we remain the largest metropolitan area in the United States without a seamless interstate corridor.
All right. And hopefully it comes true, as you said, over the next 3 years. Hopefully we'll We'll get it done. Yeah.
We're very confident that it will happen.
All right, Pete, thank you so much. My goodness, I always love listening to you. You're a wealth of information. All right, Cameron County Administrator and Executive Director for the Regional Mobility Authority is Pete Sepulveda. Be well, brother. The Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Coming up in about 3-4 minutes, next newscast, the latest winner, grant money from the Governor's Semiconductor Innovation Fund, Nuclear Power for Texas. This station is home to Astros baseball. We got sports coming up in 2 minutes on 710 KURV.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in the Cal at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
With 60 plus years under their belt, the McCaleb family of Weslaco, Texas, pillars in our community, 60 plus years helping families at a time of loss and separation. They have seen the difference between folks who took the time to pre-plan and prepay that funeral event. It's expected. You know it's in the future. It's coming up. It's something that's in the future. And much like preparing for things like retirement, line up financials, you prepare a will to make sure that all your life's work is properly distributed to those who you love, to give them a leg up, give them an opportunity. Life insurance, another thing that you do. Well, this is the same thing. This pre-planning, prepaying that, for example, my mom and dad did for me. I encourage that you call Carla McCaleb, wherever you are in South Texas. Again, these folks at the McCaleb Funeral Home, the McCaleb family, 60 plus years loving on families that go through that season of life. It's part of life. Pre-plan, prepay, it does make a huge difference. And they've seen the difference between those who don't pre-plan, prepay, and those who do. And the stress level is way, way lower for folks who do, just like for me, because my mom and dad did this for me. Call Carla McCaleb. They will come to you and help you with this. Pre-plan, prepay. Get all the paperwork done, set up everything. 956-650-2841. That is Carla McCaleb.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Your Houston Astros host the Seattle Mariners. Tune in tonight. First pitch at 7:10. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and News Talk 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
The Houston Astros got shut out by the Cincinnati Reds yesterday, 5-0. The Astros' bats were abysmal, with the team combining for 3 hits on the day. With a loss, the Astros lose the road series 2-1. They'll be back at home tonight to begin their series against the Seattle Mariners. The Texas Rangers picked up a series win against the Chicago Cubs yesterday, shutting them out 3-0. The game was a pitcher's duel, and Jacob deGrom came out on top, throwing 7 scoreless innings and striking out 10 batters. With the win, the Rangers shut out the Cubs for the second straight game and win the home series 2-1. They'll begin the second and final series of their current homestand tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The San Antonio Spurs took a loss in Game 4 against the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, 114-109. Anthony Edwards ran circles around San Antonio's defense, scoring 36 points along with grabbing 6 boards during the contest. Victor Wembanyama was ejected after receiving a flagrant 2 foul for elbowing Wolves center Naz Reid. Due to the foul, the NBA will review the incident and determine if Wemby should be suspended for Game 5. With a loss, the series is now tied at 2 games apiece, and returns to San Antonio tomorrow night for Game 5. I'm Adam C., and this has been your Texas in the Morning Sports Report.
The Knicks tied an NBA postseason record with 25 threes, destroy the Sixers 144-114 to complete the 4-game sweep and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Wizards won the draft lottery, will pick first in next month's draft. Stanley Cup playoffs, Canadians crush the Sabres 6-3, take a 2-1 lead in their second-round series. Ducks skate past the Golden Knights 4-3 to even the series at 2. That's sports. I'm Ronza Moss.
AccuWeather says a pleasant day in store. At least it won't be triple digits, people. We had a cool front cross yesterday or overnight. So right now, temperatures across the area, 69 to 71. Very, very nice. And highs today should be around mid-80s for the most part. Mid-80s, mid to upper 80s. Border Bridge wait times is posted on KURV.com. Man, we've been busy all morning. It is a 2-hour wait at B&M. Same thing at Gateway. 45 minutes south of Harlingen at Los Indios. And Veterans at 45 minutes. Headed back to the McAllen Mission Edinburgh area. 1 hour at all 3 bridges. Thank you for waking up with News Talk 710 KURV. Business news check of your money. That's next on 710 KURV. Yeah, with the interesting weather, it happens every now and then. It's less often we get a bunch of rain and impressive weather, but hey, we got some recently, and there you go. I bet that phone, that text messaging is going to be blazing over at Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. Some of y'all going back to your properties and realizing, oh no, man, we had some water come down at us from the ceiling tiles, from the commercial roof, called Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. Maybe you just need a little bit of patchwork to get everything up to speed again. I've told you for the longest time, Chamberlain can check the entire roofing system, all those different buildings that you have, check everything for free, make sure everything's okay. This was just this little run, thunderstorms, an example of what we might see during tropical season. You need to be ready. Make sure to fortify the commercial roofing system. If your roofing system survived, well, this is the time to call Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing. Get in line. Get that free inspection of that commercial roofing system. Make sure everything's okay and you find out what the weak spots are. Cutting-edge roof installation and repair and maintenance and advanced waterproofing solution. Precisely what you need. Keep that water out of your building. Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing, 956-655-6178.
Property taxes too high? For over 20 years, CAT Tax has helped thousands of property owners lower their property taxes. Don't fall for competitors who don't even have an office here or rely on AI. You can't even speak to them on the phone. It's time to call CAT Tax. Customers switching from a competitor can take advantage of our low 10% contingency fee and lock in savings for the next 2 years. CAT Tax is a local company, so when you call us, you'll talk to a real human right here in the Valley, ready to help you every step of the way. And the best part, you pay absolutely nothing unless CAT Tax saves you money. Come see the CAT Tax difference today and ditch the out-of-town companies you can never get a hold of. Ditch the AI and talk to a real person. New to protesting property taxes, you can join the CAT Tax family today for just a 20% contingency fee. CAT Tax is Valley-owned, Valley-operated, and proud to serve our community just like we have for the last 20 years. Best results, lowest fees, call CAT Tax today. 956-631-7283. That's 631-7283. Again, 631-7283.
As your representative in Austin, I promise to dig out corruption. My name is Sergio Sanchez. I'm a Republican candidate for House District 41. I've made a career of sending people to prison for corruption of Medicaid fraud, for corruption of state benefits. As a conservative, ask yourself, who is the most qualified to represent me in Austin? Life, liberty, and property, that's the foundation of my campaign. My name is Sergio Sanchez, Republican candidate for House District 41. I would bring a prosecutor's mentality to the State House. We need to doge state agencies and departments to end the wasteful spending in Austin, in all departments and agencies, to deliver real results back to people. A reduction of tax goes hand in hand with doging every single thing in the state. You need to come back and vote for the Republican runoff, May the 18th through the 22nd and May the 26th. I represent your conservative values, fight for the unborn child, protect our Second Amendment rights. I'm going to cut property taxes by half in line with the governor's plan. This ad paid for by the Sergio Sanchez campaign.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Saudi Aramco reported a 26% year-on-year jump in first quarter profits, beating analyst forecasts. The company said adjusted net income stood at $33.6 billion in the first quarter. As President Trump prepares to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping this week, Reuters reports the U.S. auto industry is hammering him with a message. Please don't offer China any access to the U.S. car market. Trump in January told the Detroit Economic Club that it would be great if Chinese automakers wanted to build plants in the U.S. Nintendo shares fell 8% this morning after the company hiked Switch 2 prices and as the markets fret over lack of high-profile games to build momentum. Nintendo posted robust hardware sales for the financial year that ended in March. But while the company is known for its conservative forecasts, its outlook for this year underwhelmed the market. Futures are mixed after President Trump rejected Iran's response to a U.S. peace proposal. Friday, the Dow Industrials gained 12, the NASDAQ up 440. That's Your Money Now.
AccuWeather says very pleasant forecast. We're looking at highs mid-80s today. And we start this beautiful Monday morning, 69 to 71 degrees. That's nice. Yeah, that was a cool front from yesterday. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Go find us on your smartphone. You do that by downloading the free app Radio Para Mi. We got Fox News coming up in 2 minutes on the Valley's Morning News. JP and Jeff at Amigo Power Equipment. They've got the Kubota equipment to make reality all the brainstorming, all those ideas, those dreams that you have for your land. What you need is Kubota to manage that land, and you'll find all that beautiful orange Kubota equipment during the Kubota Orange Day celebration. Amigo Power Equipment has what you need to punch those holes in the ground, move some earth, chop up stuff. That's what you need. You need Kubota. 0% financing available now to the end of June 30th. Or you could save up to $5,500 off select Kubota compact tractors, the number one selling compact tractor in the nation. That would be Kubota, and you will find that today at Amigo Power Equipment. Everything I told you right here, all the financing options, if you qualify, and of course the savings, potential and savings. GoKubota.com is the website to get specifics and get more information. Visit with JP and Jeff today. Walk the campus. Take a look at not only the compact tractors, the zero-turn mowers, but also the attachments that are available from Kubota. 0% financing available from now to the end of June if you qualify, or save up to $5,500 off. Select compact tractors, number one selling compact tractor in the nation. It is Kubota, and you'll find it at Amigo Power Equipment, Edinburgh.
Every year, nearly 8,000 pets come through the doors of Palm Valley Animal Society. Animals who need safety, care, and a second chance. At PVAS, we're committed to giving every dog and cat the compassion they deserve, from life-saving medical care to loving new homes. But we can't do it alone. Your support helps us protect the most vulnerable animals in the Rio Grande Valley and build a more humane community for all. Visit pvastx.org or our social media to adopt, donate, or get involved today. Together, we save lives.
In phony TV ads, Mays Middleton says he's mega, but he's got no experience in a courtroom. Just a family trust fund and a new red hat. Mays isn't mega. He's the guy who sponsored a bill allowing mosques to build their own housing developments. Middleton admitted his bill, quotes, empowers mosques to use their land for housing development, paving the way for Sharia cities in Texas. To Islamic radicals, Mays is Mecca, not MAGA. The real Trump conservative?
Chip Roy running for office. You're doing a good job, Chip.
Senator Cruz agrees.
No one has fought harder to help President Trump make America great again. Texans deserve a fearless, proven conservative for Attorney General. That's why I'm supporting Chip Roy.
Take it from Ted. Chip Roy is the conservative choice for Attorney General. Proven MAGA warrior, experienced, and qualified to serve.
I'm Chip Roy, and I approve this message.
Political advertising paid for by Texans for Chip Roy.
Everything you need to know to start your day.
The Valley's Morning News.
News Talk 710 KURV.
It's the pulse of the 956. It is News Talk 710 KURV. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Frank Cruz and Jason Catarina from AccuWeather. He's the popular one, looking at Interesting weather from this past weekend. Microburst that was damaging to some parts of the area. A little bit of rain as well. That was kind of nice. So what's the forecast like? We'll speak with Jason Caterina on AccuWeather. So join us 3 minutes after the hour. News on 710 KURV is a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. 17 Americans, one British national on the Hantavirus cruise ship are now in Omaha, Nebraska.
2 of them traveled in the plane's biocontainment unit. The passengers will be transported to the National Quarantine Unit at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, and each individual will undergo clinical assessments. They will receive care based on their conditions. That's according to the Department of Health and Human Services.
Fox's Alex Hogan, a French traveler and American, have tested positive for the virus. Another American has mild symptoms. Press conference set for 10 a.m. Eastern. A key U.S. ally bashed by President Trump now sending help to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
Britain's Navy says it's sending a Type 45 destroyer HMS Dragon to the Middle East. It's likely still in the Eastern Mediterranean.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Dubai. Oil prices are up this morning.
It was a microburst. Yeah, there was a microburst this past Saturday that damaged some properties and downed some power poles. It seems mostly in the San Benito area. National Weather Service saying a severe thunderstorm Saturday caused that microburst. It ran for about 13 miles. It was a mile wide and was tearing up some properties for about 30 minutes. At least three people were hurt, according to the Cameron County Judge's Office. Anyone who suffered damage is encouraged to visit the Texas Division of Emergency Management website and fill out a report. 13 minutes to the hour on the Valley's Morning News. Laredo. Authorities are investigating after 6 people were found dead inside a railroad boxcar Sunday afternoon. Laredo Police Investigator Jose Baeza.
An autopsy will probably take place as to determine the cause and manner of the death of the victims in this case. And from there, we'll go ahead and proceed with other facets of the investigation.
They don't have much information to go on right now, still searching for clues.
It's a very early phase of the investigation. There's not a lot to reveal right now because we just began the investigation so far.
The bodies were discovered during an inspection at a rail yard in Laredo. No survivors found. Union Pacific is working with authorities to try to find out what happened. It's 12 minutes to the hour on the Valley's Morning News. Texas prisons are receiving some new visitors.
Prison system leaders are tracking a spike in the number of cases where drones are flying contraband into the arms of inmates. Director Bobby Lumpkin told lawmakers that there were more than 24 encounters last year.
Can carry a payload of over 200 pounds.
He says the cartels used them to smuggle in both drugs and cell phones. They're looking at using their own fleet of drones to track and interdict them.
Thank you for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV. Normally we do Facebook Live. I think this morning producer Freddie was able to get us on X Live, YouTube Live as well, in case you want to rewind and check out some of the headlines in the morning. The Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, also at Radio Para Mi, the free app. Top real estate team in this entire region, and the only folks that I'm going to trust with helping me to sell my home or helping us buy a new home, that is the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Not every home is a perfect fit, so that's why you need the right team on your side to ask the right questions, take you through the process, and patiently hold your hand and walk through that process for several days, several weeks, whatever it takes to get it done. The Ryan and Brian real estate team can find you a buyer no matter what, even if, in the case of Juan, for example, even if it's $1 million home. Now, you know that $1 million plus home is not for everyone, right? And Juan had to put one on the market. And the Ryan and Brian real estate team works like no one else. They have a very aggressive and successful marketing approach, even for $1 million property that I'm sure most of us can't afford. The Ryan and Brian real estate team, their marketing system reaches thousands of potential buyers every single day, and it works. In fact, they're so confident they guarantee that it will work. Ask them about that. Juan is very happy. Property sold, no problem. Boom. The Ryan and Brian real estate team, that's what they do. Even for $1 million properties, get them sold. Ask about the guarantee, by the way. Here's the number to call, 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
President Trump doesn't trust backstabbing rhino Chip Roy because Chip Roy betrayed MAGA. Roy backed Liz Cheney and pushed to impeach President Trump.
President of the United States deserves universal condemnation for impeachable conduct.
Then Chip Roy helped illegal aliens avoid deportation. And Roy even supported perverts and predators by siding with Gavin Newsom and the trans lobby to push transgender surgeries for children. When we fought back, Roy told MAGA voters,
"You can kiss my ass."
MAGA Mays Middleton stood with President Trump against perverts and predators, stopped radical transgender surgeries for kids,